It's been too bad here, but like LA, boy, they really got hammered and stuff. All right, Tom, well, you're on the list, and glad you checked in. Do we have anybody else?
K6JCA and hello to Tom.
Okay, got two of you. I got 86.
Yeah.
Andy and Joe.
No, no flash flag, no flash flag in that 400 thing.
All right, Andy, well, go ahead and make a transmission and then send it over to John, WA6JUS. Go ahead, Andy.
Okay, thanks, Ron. K6BWS. This is K6CJA Andy at Curry Mountain. And yeah, just want to get on the list, check in, and so far so good. Quite a bit of QRM at the moment, but you know, that's to be expected. So good to hear Tom again. It's been a long time, so figured I'd get in line right after him so we could see how the re-entry goes into AM. A lot has not changed, Tom, so you'll be fine. And over to you, John. Good to hear you tonight as well. WA6JUS. This is K6TKX.
Good morning, y'all. Katie Party. All right, John. WA6JUS and Andy. Yeah, you're coming in good, Andy. Sounding good. You must be on one of the big rigs, 610 or you're coming in sounding good. And yeah, okay, John. Yeah, I used to use a 585 when I was setting up the head end, and I worked at the cable company in Palm Springs. Using setting depth of modulation on all the TV channels and stuff. And I've got a 535 and something at my bench. Darn good old scopes. Amazing, you know. They've got over 100 tubes in them, and they just seem to work forever. I haven't had to do anything except clean switches on mine. And I got it for free. Somebody got it out on the trash pickup. Had two of them. A 35 and a 45. Nice. We got some 35 and 35. Holy difference between 545 goes up to 25. Mine's 15.
Yeah, but you know, during the daytime, you still got time to talk on the radio.
Scopes. All right. Everybody else looks to get on the early Monday night AMI. Come now.
W8 Victor Golf.
Good evening.
Good Tucson there, George. Go ahead.
Oh, hey, Ron. Thanks so much. We're doing all right. We got that rain here last week, a couple of days, a day or two after you guys got it. And things were nice and wet. Well, I guess that part figured out all the bottom out
sunshine today, although
okay, I wasn't sure.
down in the 50s, which is cold for us desert critters here.
But not too bad.
No, he just
Can't
doesn't
complain. It's winter here in Tucson, Ron.
We've got so much rain here, I got grass growing everywhere. We don't want that'll burn off here in a couple of
Talking about on the same
Anyways,
frequency,
other than that,
not doing too much. Was on 10 meters.
a little bit, 10 meter AM.
Well, it should.
Let's see, Friday,
Well, they
and
keep it
worked a whole bunch of
hammered down.
East Coast stations, one right after the next. We're pretty good signal, so I'm going to have to get up there and try 10 more often. Anyways, go ahead and put me on the net, put me on the list. And thanks for picking me up there, Ron. K6BWS, WAPG.
Okay, George, WAPG, K6CJA. Yeah, got the grass growing here, too, everywhere. But that's fine, looks good. Normally, yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully a lot of wildflowers spring. You know how the desert is. You get the spring blooms and you get all the desert blooms. So I'll be looking forward to that. So, yeah, good deal on 10 meters. Yeah, that's why I need to get a shed so that I can start up a 10-meter station, because I got that going to AM transceiver, and I've got a QRP hot water 8, big enough for CW, set up another position where I can do stuff the size of 75 meters down here in the basement. Yeah, 10 meters is hopping now, so I need to get hopping so I can get over here with that. I don't have anywhere to set it up except my workstation. I don't want to take up my workstation. Radio here that's not being hooked to it. Oh, hey, we have anybody else who's getting more than anyone else? Okay, cool. So let me get you written down.
It's true. That was famous.
So, how's it going on down there by the bay down there, Chris? Go ahead.
Well, Jordan, still, I do know one thing, because check it out. We usually come in from our signals. Los Angeles, Arizona, and so forth to California, and so you hear that knowledge is important. And it's good. Or else, some of them are out there. So I don't know if one of their ears is those things.
Yeah, it sounds good. Looks like you're about 100%, so I think she's okay. Go ahead. Yeah, you're sounding good. Rib is sounding good. So, leave it right there, I think. And, yeah, we got a pretty good listening one. We're having counted, and it looks like about 12 or 13 so far. So, we're doing good there. So, do we have anybody else? Get on the OA come down?
You know, I haven't looked into that, but I will.
Okay, but no audio. Somebody tried to check in. Okay, I guess not. Well, let me send it back up to Jeff. K6JCA. How you copying everybody, Jeff? Go ahead.
Hey Ron, KD6VWS with the rest of the group here in the earlies. This is K6CJA Jeff in Chino, California, driving with Buffalo, future home of a superhero. I'm hearing everybody quite well, actually. I mean, there's a lot of trash going on because I think there's so much stuff going on that's coming in on the airwaves. But I'm hearing, all AM signals up over the top of it so far. So, pretty good night. We'll have to see if it continues. And I specifically wanted to say congratulations to Phil. I don't know if you realize it, but it is a special place and a special organization to be a part of the Hazard to the Population group. But welcome. We're always looking for newbies, no matter how long it took you to get there. And, so I don't know, I keep thinking, though, that the circle is coming around to me too fast. It seems like I always think that we're leaving somebody out. I just can't put my finger on who it is. I don't know if I've heard Kevin in a while. And I don't know if I heard Paul in a while, or am I just missing it? There might be a little bit too much 811 smoke going on around here. Back over to you, Ron. KD6GWS, KK6IRZ.
Yeah, okay, Jeff. Yeah.
Well,
don't agree on that 811 smoke. Stuff will get you. You don't get behind the wheel after that either. Yeah. Well, it's been a while since I heard you, so I thought I would tickle your antenna and see what was going on over there. Beautiful metropolis of Chino. So, yeah, it's been a while since we heard Kevin, so I guess I'll give him a call. K6JCA, Kevin, you there? K6VWS.
Okay, KD6VWS, WA6JKN. Yeah, I'm still here. By golly, I'm hearing everybody. I want to say hello to Tom there, W6TJK. I haven't heard you on in a long time. But I'm glad you're back. It's good to hear you amongst the AMI group. Your audio sounds wonderful. I wonder if you're on the 500. Maybe the issues with the water, rain, and all that stuff. That's always a challenge. But the good news is you're on the air. You're back, and looking forward to many more transmissions from you. By golly, this is Kevin and Gilroy, the garlic capital of the world. Which is about 75 miles south of San Francisco. So anyway, back to you, Ron. Please, whoever takes the net tonight, I think somebody said it was George. Let George know I have an announcement. He knows what it is. So he either can make it or I could make it, either way. This is WA6 Jacks, Kings, and Nines. Back to you, Ron.
Said hi to you.
K6JCA
Okay, so we got Steve and we got George. Now we're getting stuff set up and it's coming good group going.
Uh-oh, I heard trouble.
Alrighty. So I guess, George, you heard that Kevin wants to make an announcement at the beginning of the net. So, okay. Well, I'll send it over to you, Steve, and then, Steve, you send it over to George. K6JCA.
Oh, I beat Georgia. Hi, George. Yeah. Hello, Tom. CJK, it's been a while. Good to hear you, Kevin, Jeff, and Ron, K6JCA. And I've got new, what did I spend 2 days doing? Taking down my mast and putting new guy lines on it, putting it back up. Legs are killing me. But it turned out good. That's all the ham radio stuff. I can guess what the announcement is, but I don't. It's what I'm hoping. I know what I'm hoping it is. That's all I'm saying. Anyhow, good to be here with you guys back on the broadcast rig. And George, over to you. W6YEC K6JCA.
Okay, very good, Steve. Nice to hear you. Antenna's working for you. Yep, I just got in here, so I just have to run the net tonight, so I'll just tuck myself away in the background here until you're ready to give the list, Ron, and then we'll fill out the sheet here. So I was just looking for the preamp and pulling it out so I could be ready when it's time. Anyway, back to you, Ron. KG6 DWS W6YEC.
KW1NG. Someone trying to check in?
Yeah, that was Ken. KW1NG.
Okay, let me get him written down. Okay. Yeah, well, good deal, Steve, on getting your antenna back up. Yeah, you're sounding like your old self now. Nice big fat signal. Sounding beautiful. Man, George, you're blasting in here too. So, a couple of powerhouses there. All right, let me send it over to KW1NG, Tim. Go ahead, K6BWS.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I'm the 76 with the 3001. Running about 120 watt carrier, something like that. Don't have a lot to report. Just wanted to check in. Listen to everybody's story. We will turn it back to you. Thanks for taking that early, John. KW1NG.
Okay, good schedule that time. You must have been on a fade when you first checked in, because I couldn't tell who it was, but then signal sounded good that time. Little QSB in there, but good deal. You are on the list. So how's it going with where you're at there? Go ahead, Ken.
Going fine. We're out a little bit later this afternoon. I have to take my wife to the doctor, but this morning we just did some work, and I was kind of wondering if Larry's going to be on tonight. IYC might be running that Johnson amplifier this evening, so I was just kind of curious about that.
Yeah. Oh, Larry, you want to answer Ken? Go ahead.
or you owe me an S meter.
Well, I got another one that don't work.
Ken, is that a GSB 201? Joseph Gottlieb. It was his father's, Al Gottlieb, of the paintball. Gottlieb paintball team. So that was Larry, you have a little bit more with this. The 101 had the Harlow State over to you, Jay. NY6L, K6JCA
Okay, let's keep it short here because it's almost getting to be that time. So, all right, well, NY6LJ here in Hesperia. That's a cool 44 degrees and drops down to 33. And
even lower, we'll see what happens.
Anyway, we're just enjoyed the day today and getting things ready for the Southern California Antique Radio Society, which I've been a member of since 1988. Dating myself, so getting stuff to be auctioned off and move things along so I can get more room in the garage. So there you go. Head back to you there, Ron.
Yeah, okay then. Yeah, it's cool to like that here too. You know, the high desert. So, what's the right?
I got another amp in there. I'm to these
somebody else remembers that. Might be John J. Less or somebody told me about that.
K6CJA SK What's the difference?
Okay, let me get you up down there. What?
Yeah, I got no number, no female. I just had one that looked up and I looked up the radio.
Yep, now the skits here are running.
You're almost messed up. Skip, but good signal. Good signal from by the bay. Okay, George, here's the list as I got it. First up is N6WHK. N6WHK. KN6IYC. Larry. KN6IYC.
Let's go, Dano.
And we have Paul. N6BZY. N6BZY. Then we have Jeff. KK6IRZ. KK6IRZ.
We're in the other room.
Then you can pencil out K6BWS. And after me is Kevin. WA6JKN, Kevin. And we have Vaughn. K6ZTA. K6ZTA, Vaughn. And then we have someone that hasn't checked in the room zone. W6CJK. W6TJK. Then we have Andy. K6TKX. K6CJA Andy. John. K6CSA. K6CSA. And we got Steve. KF6SYD. KF6SYD Steve. And then you checked in. And then after you is KW1NG Ken. KW1NG. And then we have J NY6L. NY6LJ. And then last but not least, Skip K6LGL. K6LGL. And that is the list as I have it there, George. W6YEC KD6VWS.
All right, very good. I think I got it all. Awesome. Thank you, Ron, for being there, as you always are. And I didn't want to scribble on my paper, so I left you where I had you, number one. So I'll call on you first here after the preamble, and then we're going to let Ken, make the announcement that he has there. And so I have that marked down here. I didn't hear you say that. I didn't know Kevin was in here until you mentioned that. So we've got it on the list. So there you go. Everybody sounded nice. What beautiful signals tonight. And it was wonderful as I was riding down here on my scooter. What a beautiful sky. Looking up at the nice, clear, clean sky after all this rain. But more rain coming from what I hear. So we'll see how that goes up this weekend. All right. Well, we're a couple minutes ahead of time, or 1 minute anyway. So depends on which clock you look at here. I've got a clock that's battery operated, and it's running about 3 minutes behind. But the atomic clock is always on. So we're just right there. So I think we just go ahead. Anyway, welcome everybody to the Monday night Amplitude Modulation International Net. Well, that's a mouthful. Or simply AMI. And as we like to remind everybody, the purpose of this net is to promote restoration, preservation, and enjoyment of AM equipment, including transmitters, receivers, and assorted vintage AM type gear. Anyone using AM equipment is welcome to this net. You don't have to be running a piece of vintage gear. It can be more modern as long as it produces stereo and with AM modulation. You're welcome to join this net. And so, having said that, just so you do not need to be a member to join this net. However, as a member of AMI, you will receive a certificate that has on it your personal ID number, and we've been growing a little bit in the last year or so with those numbers. And if you would like a membership, go to AMI website, www. If you can, also mail it. If you can't do that, you can also mail it to John. I think he's still doing that. McGrath, correct me if I'm wrong, at N9AMI. And his address is P.O. Box 1422, Silver Springs, Nevada, 89429. John is also good on QRZ.com. So your AMI net control tonight is George. It's W6YEC. And my AMI number is 1197. My QTH is Lemon Grove. That's from Mountain to San Diego. And my equipment tonight is the Razor 2, probably early 60s. And driving a Sugar Baker 220 for about 300 watts. What a great combination. And listening on a Hammerman HT110. And it's got a little amp with a Glomus, rebuilt Glomus amplifier. 2 crystal 6V6s, that treble and bass. You can really make the sound of audio coming out of this 110A very nice. And I'm using I think it's what they call it, ST23 or PM23. It's a helicopter speaker. And with the kind of the grill on the front, it's really a nice looking speaker. I'm using that with the amplifier for push code 66s, but I also have a national speaker hooked in here. They're 10-inch speakers that always look nice and sounded wonderful, and so that's tied into the Hammerlin on the output stage of that Hammerlin. And the amplifier is tapped into the input of the output stage of the Hammerlin, and so it gives me some pretty nice audio on the listening side. It's all hooked into a scope, so I get to look at everybody's pattern and see what the modulation looks like. So we have a picture going on at the same time you're talking. Kind of fun. Anyway, the antenna is a full-wave loop up about 40 feet with an MFJ 986 tuner to tune everything up fine. All right, there it is. Welcome back, Phil. Let me say that. K6JCA. We're sure glad you made it through the hospital experience and that you're home there getting stronger and able to get on the radio. Before you were missed. I'm sure a lot of people out there would agree with that. All right, and boy, welcome to Tom. That's kind of interesting, Tom. Yeah, right out of Santa Cruz Mountains. Well, looking forward to hearing you. I wonder if you're on a Viking 500 tonight. I guess I'll be patient and find out. And we got a good crew in here this evening. It's impressive, actually. All right. With that, I'm going to put the preamble away, and I'm going to call on K6JCA to share with us the announcement he has. Go ahead, Kevin.
Well, thank you very much, George. This is WA6JK and Kevin and Gilroy. Just wanted to make a quick announcement, and then hopefully George will let me make my regular transmission later on in the lineup. As a lot of you know, we've been worried about Ken, K6CJA. That's Kilowatt 6 Charlie Juliet Alpha. And we've been wondering what happened to him. We've lost track, or we haven't heard him on the air for about a year now. And Y6L has been gracious to go over to his property a few times and check on him, and with no luck. We just saw the gate was locked up, and he recently checked the mailbox, and there was a note in there that says, "Do not deliver mail here." So that prompted a few of us to get really concerned. And so, to make a long story short, I did some research, tracked down his granddaughter, Laura, and Laura filled me in with what happened to Ken. Ken is a silent key. He was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer back in the April-May time frame last year. Started chemo. It showed a little positive results, but quickly turned. He had a massive stroke and passed. So with that, I'm going to send it back to you, George. And if you keep me in the lineup, I have some good news to share when that time arrives, when that turn comes up. So thank you very much for letting me make the announcement. And I want to say special thanks to Jay NY6L for taking the lead on all this. W6YEC, back to you, sir. WA6JK and Kevin and Gilroy.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin, thank you very much. We're certainly will let you have another transmission when it gets down the line here. Yeah, I was talking to Jay one day, and I thought it would be good, since he's up in the area, if we could take one more run by the house there and just see if it's still in the same situation. I thought there might be some hints around, some clues around, or some way to be able to find out what is going on with him. And Jason, we really appreciate you doing that for all of us. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to ask Skip, as our most senior man, I think, here, because I think you remember the first barbecue that we ever had for the AMI group was at 10. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that, if you remember who was there and what date that was, if you can remember. A lot going on with memories these days, but maybe you can remember that. And just fill us in. We'll take a moment of kind of silence in a sense, remembering Ken, and if Skip, if you can fill us in with that, I think that was very pertinent to this group. K6LGL. Go ahead, W6YUP. Did I lose you, Skip? Are you there? K6LGL, W6YUP.
You said a number of times. What's your insect level during the night? About 97, 98 sometimes. And I think he was the first AMI, well not AMI, the first barbecue around 3870. Right, not right towards the end of the millennium.
Are they good?
About maybe 8, 9, I don't remember the exact date. That was the first one. And then he had another one about, but at that one there were a couple of interesting people there. K6OM was there. W6BCN. N6PY. And I'm trying to remember several others that are no longer with us. And, you know, there were people, there was I think the Arizona station was there. A couple of stations from Bering Clear, the W1, used to be actually with the K6CJA. So, and then you know the second one, the year after. And then what followed was, I think one or two got in, because this one, Bill and 61 moved to Bill. He had a couple there. And then W6IRD. And K6IRD. Had a couple gatherings. And then in 2004 was the first AMI barbecue at George W6HCX in San Antonio. So, number of old times. It's been a while. Something, and I had a strong feeling that Ken was no longer with us. And I miss the old character. He was jokingly referred to himself as the K6JCA CJA. He used to own a big with 400 Back to you there, George. Nice to remember Ken. He was a
Yeah, okay, Skip. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Yeah, sorry to confuse you there. I was thinking, you know, a time of, we normally take a time of silence, and I thought, well, it came to me about the same time. If Skip gives us a history, that gives us a good chance to remember Ken. And some of the guys that didn't know Ken, just bring you up to speed. Anyway, and I didn't make that barbecue. I sure wanted to. And but I will tell you one thing here, and as we go around the circle here tonight, if you have a memory you want to share about Ken, that we'd be happy to have you do it. That would encourage everybody, I think. So I made Bill's barbecue, and I made IRD's barbecue, and of course George's. So, but I didn't make the first or the second one that Ken had. That was disappointing. But what I did do is I wanted to take a trip one year and just get away for a little while. And so what I did is I made a trip up to downtown, DCM. And he lived just what was it, Rialto? I can't remember. It was right on the edge of Riverside, just before you go up the road there to Hesperia. And I had dinner with Don and his wife, and it was a beautiful evening to be with them. Then what I did is drove to Hesperia, and I rented a hotel room so I could see Ken the next day. And so the next day I went over to Ken's house, spent a good majority of the day with him, and got to know him much better by doing that. And then I took off on my little road trip, which I think was, I went to Vegas. I had somebody there I was going to meet up with, and then a road trip down the line between California and Nevada and Arizona. Camped along the way. It was just a nice 3-4 day trip that I took. But got to meet some of my ham friends, and that was wonderful. And anyway, that's my memory. Never have forgotten it. So with that, let's see. Let me move it along to Phil. No, to Ron. KD6BWS. Take it away, Ron. W6YUC.
Okay, George. W6YUC, KD6VWS. Ron here at Joshua Tree. And thank you, Skip and George, for both of your memories of relating to kids. And really sorry to hear. I kind of had that feeling. That was a situation. But it's funny, he's the first one I talked to on AM. When I retired from the machine shop, I was working nights all the years that I worked at the machine shop, so I couldn't, get on the AMI net. But then in 09, when I retired, after it was 13th next month, 15 years ago, 09, I was working on my Apache. I had to do a bunch of stuff on it, operating on AM. I used it on CW, but I had problems with it anyway. So I started working on that, and the first person I talked to was Ken before Wednesday night AMI net, and then thereafter we used to talk every Monday and Wednesday night before the nets, Ken and I, and so 15 years of talking, well, 14, it's been a year, but talking with Ken before the nets, covered everything under the sun you can think of, and then Mike and I, a couple of years ago, we went up to visit Ken and spent the day, and Mike wound up with that AR-213, his AR-13, and he gave me the Gonka G28 10-meter AM transceiver, which I got working good, but I got to make some room so I can put that thing on the air in memory of Ken. So, well, thank you. Thank you for the memories. I'm sure we'll hopefully hear some more people as I can. Anyway, so I'm running the Vionic version 1, 150 watt carrier, and shooting with a Turner +3 microphone, and let's see, I'll be listening on the BC-248 Cherokee Hallicrafters R42 speaker, and right now I'm using MC-125. I've got the scope hooked up to it so I can see everybody's signal, and the other channel I see my signal. So I've got a discone antenna up on the roof. I pick up the signal off of the antenna to that discone, so I see what comes off the antenna on the second channel. So anyway, and all that's going up to the Drake W4 watt meter, to the SA-2040 Heathkit antenna tuner, coax up to the infrared long wire, about 25 feet, quarter wave counterpoise off the shield. Let's see, AMI number is 1671, and swap at the round table, and also I remember pictures of Ken when he had his AM, his farmer too. He was wearing that Texas hat, but he was the California jackass, not Texas jackass, but he was wearing a Texas hat. Okay, so with that, I'll send it back to you, George. W6YEC K6VWS.
All right, Ron. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. I didn't know you retired in 09. It was shortly after that. I guess we met up at Wayne 1 year. I don't remember the exact year, but a while back. A lot of time getting under our feet here. Hal, it's your turn. N6WHK, take it away. Again, welcome home. W6YEC.
W6YEC, N6WHK. Well, I still say once you get ready to get off that cane of yours, and I get off the walker and the cane, we're going to have to bust them up a frosty freeze and have a barbecue or something. Anyway, yeah, I met Ken. I think he was the first person I met on AMI many years ago. He used to come on before the net, and he put a booming signal into San Diego, and I mean a booming signal. And I would go back to him, and we would talk a little bit. I shared his audio, because he did put in a nice signal down here. Never met him in person. I saw pictures of him on the AMI get-together and net web page there, I guess is the right word for it. And that's about it. So, but I do miss his golden tones, and he did have some good audio in San Diego. I'm running the Johnson Viking Ranger Hammerland HQ110. L4B, about 200 watts out. Johnson Matchbox to keep everything under control. D104 microphone. 610 scope to keep an eye on the pattern, and the pattern looks fairly decent. I'm running a Heathkit HW102 meter to make sure the SWR and the power out is looking like it should. And a good Hammerland speaker, which is sounding beautifully into the shack here. Enjoying everybody's audio tonight. Very nice audio. With that, I'm going to pass it back to George. W6YEC, and my condolences to Ken. Sure will miss him. N6WHK.
Okay, Phil, thank you a lot. Mary, let's hear that new amplifier. Sounding pretty good. Like I said, my inch meter is dense. sort of. Anyway, yeah, you were doing beautiful. I've never heard you so loud. KM6IYC, W6YEC.
George, thanks for running the net tonight. This is KM6IYC. Yeah, made some changes to the AM station here. And Ron, thanks for the earnings and getting me on the list. Thanks, with the reports on my audio, I was worried about it because I didn't know how my audio was going to be. I hadn't had a chance to test this. After Wednesday night's net, I took the whole station apart because, I had to get this CSB 101 wired up to my system here. So I had, things to do. The step one, of course, was to get the antenna to where that had a flat SWR at this frequency so I could put power through it without going through the AT200 Pro. I don't think the AT200 Pro auto-tuner handles AM that well, especially, in that 160-200 watt range, it might damage it. So it was important for me to get that dialed in. But, when I got the app, it's like finding a doorknob and then deciding which you need to build a house for it. But anyway, oh man, thanks to everybody for helping me along. Ken, I never heard him or met him, but when we first got on the AMI net, I experienced the concern that all the people on AM had for him. So I can only venture a guess that he was a pretty special guy. And reports were being asked every week, and that's what I remember about Ken at that time, because I don't think I've ever heard him or anything. So sorry to have missed him, and I hope I hope he went to be with the Lord. That's what I hope. Anyway, gosh, my AMI number is 1815, and tonight I'm listening on the Hamlet H2 170 with the matching S200 speaker, just like always. Everyone sounded really good signals tonight. But I'm switching it to my D104 microphone that's amplified and slightly modified, and that signal's coming out of the back of my transmitter.
Yes, sir.
Frequency model. Would you rather me do the standard frequency or amplifier model?
You're actually last week, and I think it will be fine.
Okay. And running about there and seeing that was beautiful.
Yeah, no, that's cool, Danny. That'll work out just fine.
No tuner. And up to my with 2 wire 9-foot 3 inches on each side. And George, on the round table. Thanks for your help. And I'll just pass this up back to you. W6YEC, KN6IYC.
All right, very good, Larry. You're performing good. Doing a good job for you there. And very touchy. So, let's give it to the expert audio guy. See what he has to say to you. N6VGY, take it away. W6YEC.
With no radio.
W6YEC.
Yeah, sure.
ZY. Oh, expert. Looks good on the scope. It sounds good. I think you got everything dialed in pretty good there, Larry. And in regard to Ken, CJA, yes, he will definitely be missed. And fond memories. First encountered him when I first got on AM, probably in the mid-'80s when I was running the transmitter side at NPL, and with W6PSS and all of. He was the one that got me into AM, and met all of the group as time went on. And Kim was an interesting guy, a little cantankerous, and kind of like me. If he had an opinion, he wasn't afraid to give it.
And that's the way I remember him, and it is going to leave a gap here, that's for sure. Anyway, AMI number 278, and the usual stuff here. The Super Senior 8040 model, running about 325 watts of carrier. And we're using a D104 and running the signal through a Dentron Super 2 to an inverted V at 35 feet, receiving on an old National MC300. And let's see, what do I guess that's about the rundown here. Don't have anything for the swap or the round table. So, just sitting here enjoying the festivities. So, back to my neighbor, W6YEC and 6B3Y.
All right, Paul, very good. Let's move it up to Chino, California, and see what's going on up there with Jeff. K6IRZ, W6YEC.
I'm going to bed to KC5WL.
Okay, very good. W6YEC on the Monday night AMI. This is KK6IRZ. Jeff in Chino, California. Wow. Yeah, well, we were definitely all concerned about that with Ken. I know that when Jay and I ran over to his house that night and I was up there visiting, it looked like it was pretty quiet, like nobody had been there, so... but I guess I'm glad that at least we now know, because I definitely have thought of Ken on several occasions, wondering whatever happened. Yeah, Ken was definitely an interesting guy. I didn't really know him. You know, I'm the new guy here on the West Coast, so I didn't really know him that well, other than talking to him on the radio. But the thing that always made me kind of giggle, actually, he had a very interesting way of telling the story, or talking the topic that he was on. And in the midst of that, he would throw in very dry humor. And I think he did it intentionally to see if you were paying attention. And he'd always make me chuckle. So, I certainly enjoyed my conversations, but yes, he was a very interesting man, at least of what I knew of him. So, my AMI number is 1809. I'm running my homebrew rig, you know, with the same audio that I've been running for the past couple of weeks, which is a electric condenser microphonium into a DVX 286S compressor, but just lightly blend it out a little bit, and then I just tailor it one time with a mono 31 band EQ, and that's it. That goes into a balanced link coupled tuner, the Johnson Matchbox. Open wire line to a inverted V, only about 32 feet off. And the homebrew transmitter right now is in the QRP mode, but sitting somewhere around 300 watts. So hopefully it's at least being heard a little bit. We got nothing for sale. Got nothing for sale. But did get an accomplishment here at the station with a new shed up, providing 15 by 8 feet of more space for me to finally get some piles unpiled. That was very nice to get done today, but wow, am I so sore. But my wife and I put the whole shed together ourselves, so it worked out very interesting. We had fun doing it together.
and now we have it all ready to go. So there you go. Let us send it back over to you there, John. 26YEC with the group. I'm hearing everybody's fantastic. This is a very good night for signal, so I hope it keeps up because it's very great. I heard the index was up. This is K6JCA SK.
Any other questions, Jeff?
I heard something about the roof on the shed. I missed the question. Go ahead again.
That was it. Someone wanted to know how you doing with the roof on the shed.
Yeah, the shed is totally done except for there was one part that was incorrect in the kit that came. And that was that there is a roof peak that on each gable on each side is supposed to be a different pattern. One has to be a hook over and the other one has to be a hook under. But they sent me two of the same pieces. So the whole shed is absolutely built right now except for one piece that they're going to be sending me in 3 days because they packed it wrong in the kit.
Okay, real good, yeah. So you're enjoying putting things on shelves, I presume.
Well, I will be soon. Like I say, I just got it done today. We literally, my wife and I, she had Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off, so we had Sunday Super Bowl day, but Saturday and Monday, my wife and I built a 15 by 8 shed ourselves. It's all steel reinforced, and it's all bolted together, and so it was actually a really fun project doing it with my wife.
As it should be. That's great, man. Okay, let's bring Kevin in up there in that garlic country. Becky gave me a bunch of garlic the other day. She says if you don't want it all, pass it back to me. But I ate it all. Anyway, here we go, Kevin. Thanks again for bringing things into the light on Ken. W6JKN, W6YEC.
Well, thank you very much, George. W6JKN. Good evening to everyone, and I'm on the Collins KW1 tonight. I don't have the audio cranked up all the way, but it's I'm running about 95% modulation, and the receiver's a 75A4. I'm hearing everybody pretty well. Larry, your audio sounds good. Good signal for the amount of power you're running. Shout out to George in Oro Valley there, and a special shout out to Tom for joining us once again, by golly. Okay, so I said I had some good news to report, but before I do that, let me go through my memories of Ken. Just known him for a long time. I talked to him many times over the years. He's an old soldier, just like me. Hoo-ah. Yeah. So, yeah, Ken, he was, he spent a lot of time in the military and gave his all, by golly. Was a trainer. Some people call them drill sergeants. So that tells you that's the cream of the crop, just like the submariners. You have drill sergeants and you have submariners, top of the line. Of course, submariners, Navy. And so I want to, well, he knows this. Don't even have to say it. Thanking Ken for his military service. And everybody knows how he felt about what was going on in the Middle East. He was ready to defend. All he had to do was call him, and he was ready to go.
Now, I wanted to mention that the other folks that were at the barbecue. Now, I don't remember if it was the first one or the second one. Was Dennis QHO? If you remember QHO, of course, N6PY was already mentioned. Who can forget? Who can't forget about Trevor K6JCA? At one of the gatherings there, Skip probably remembers this. He handed out a certificate to Don. I think it was Don, a wrecking crew. That was the Burbank wrecking crew. For those that may know that, you got quite an esteemed group that have certificates from the wrecking crew. Joe Walsh is one of them, part of the original wrecking crew. Yeah, John was there, WA6JA West. John, you probably remember that. Of course, Skip was, but Skip didn't tell you that he was heading up the Congo line. Yeah, quite the dancer there, by golly. So wanted to mention that. Of course, N6PY already mentioned him, but there was another ham there that their front line, W6PRU. He was the big AM station in Southern California. So those have been the hams for 50 years. You know PRU. He ran a T368, but he also had a magic black box in between. It had a small coax, an RG8 would run into the wall, and then he had a room somewhere in between his ham shack and the living room that he had his special black box, and then he had this large hard line that must have been the size of your fist, and it ran up his 120-foot tower with a homebrew multi-element Yagi. I can't remember how many elements, but it was huge. It had a great large number. And this was the antenna that the elements moved in and out. So from his shack, you could operate and tune the antenna for maximum radiation takeoff. Not SWR. A lot of people don't know the difference, but anyway. Yeah, he was quite the engineer. PRU. He was also a Papuli. I don't know how many people remember the Papulis. So anyway, wanted to mention that. He was part of the group with Ken and a bunch of others there. Good friends from many, many, many years ago. All right, the good news. The good news, guess who I talked to just before the net tonight? W6 Oscar Meyer, W6OM. He's doing great, and he just wants to pass along his greetings to the group. He wanted to say he is now living in Luna Nigel. Him and Olga are living a great life, and he hopes to be back on the air soon. Didn't give me a date, but he did say soon. So you never know. W6OM is going to be with us on the air one of these nights, hopefully in the very, very near future. So that's my my input for the night. Thank you very much for running the net, George and Ron for taking the earlies. W6 YEC WA6JKN.
All right, Kevin, boy, that's a lot of stuff you gave us. Oh, I remember PRU, yeah, boy. And Dennis? W72HO, lived in Glendale. Wow. And, boy, oh boy. And Trevor, wow. Yeah. Trevor and Joe and the wrecking crew. And I remember, I worked all through. I had my certificate. I told them. Anyway, that was a fun time. Man alive, that was almost 25 years ago. That was, I got my certificate in 2001, I think it was. So that goes back a ways. Anyway, thanks for that. Thanks for the report on Ron. Well, Laguna McGill, that's close to Tahiti, isn't it? Well, very good. I'm glad he's doing well. And we'll look forward to hearing his melodious tones one of these days. I wonder what he's putting together. I'm glad he's doing good. Thanks for that. And very good. Let's see. We won't get stuck here. Let's move it on to Vaughn. K6JCA. It's all yours, Vaughn.
Okay, George, thank you. Yeah. Boy, this is a hard act to follow. Those are hard acts to follow, actually. Multiple acts. So, yeah, W6YEC, K6ZTA. Yeah, the handle here is Vaughn Victor Oscar November. I'm in Woodland Hills. My AMI number is 1757. And I'm using a Viking 2, 100 watts of carrier, driving an inverted beam. The microphone is a D104, and the receiver is an SX96. Anyway, yeah, I always wondered, well, I haven't been on here, but I don't know, maybe I've been on there with this group. 5, 6 years, maybe 6 years, that's probably the max. So I really can't reflect on any of the golden times that you had. The wrecking crew, that sounds interesting. Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that Ken is SK'd, and so anyway, boy, signals are pretty good. Signals are pretty good tonight. And they're on there every morning. I'm just looking at my notes here, and I actually, I'm really glad to hear you. Yeah, really, you sound like your good old self. So I expect you to be near the top of the list every week, every night that you're on. So we'll hear you some more. And I've got some news about Bob. JIB. I better not. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. Because he's got a nice surprise for all of us, and but I'd rather not take the wind out of his sail on that. But I think it's going to take him a while. But I'm surprised he's not here tonight. At any rate, with that, I will say no on the swap, no on the round table, and thank you for everything, everybody here. W6YEC, K6ZTA.
Yeah, okay, Vaughn. Very good. Yeah, what a Anyway, I had a thought go through my mind when you said that, but I dare not say it because same as you, because we'll see what he has to say. It'll be interesting. I can't wait. You got it stirred up now. All right. Wow, what a delight to have Tom back. W6CJA. So up to the Santa Cruz Mountains in Felton. How you doing, my friend? Out in the east. Take it away, W6YEC.
Thank you, George. This is W6Y.
Let's try that again. This is W6TJK. You can tell I'm really happy to be on the air again. Well, right off the top, I'll just say I loved Ken's on-the-air voice. Yeah, just listening to him talk and some of the tales. I too was not in the early group, so I don't know anything about the early picnics and such, but I did enjoy chatting the occasional politics with Ken. So, yeah, I like the guy, and it's kind of sad, but I hope he's in a better place and out and away from the agony of that. My sister, she went through that a couple of years ago, and it was just not very enjoyable for her. All right, we're on an Elecraft rig tonight because that's what powered up. And we're actually running on a half of a inverted ZEP-L thing. Determined that I can in fact load this stupid thing. Windstorm came through here. We had one last year with ice and snow, which took out about 10 trees all over the place. And this year we had a windstorm come through here, winds up to 100 miles an hour, which is really scary when you're in a redwood forest with 130 or 150 foot tall trees dancing like they're in some sort of Charleston or something. So that was kind of where we are equipment-wise. I am trying to get figured out where I am going to put a tower. And I've got the antenna for the top of it, or most of the antenna. Scheming on how to make some kind of a rotatable 80-meter gadget. I'm sure it will be foreshortened, but it will be a fun thing to figure out, I think. I got enough busted old antennas that I can kind of construct something out of it. I'm sure it'll have a Frankenstein appearance, but guaranteed to work. How about that? Yeah, some of the other things going on here that happened this late last year, actually in October, is I found myself in the hospital with kind of a congestive heart failure kind of a thing, and discovered the hard way that too much drinking of the spirits is not good for your heart and your circulation. So we have taken the oath of abstinence now, and we figure that everything we save from staying away from it we can put into AM radio. How's that? We have no AMI number here. Nothing to swap. I may be around for the round table. But I do know that Denise came up and kind of had that we're doing dinner look on her face. And George, Denise is doing good. But other than that, she still has that twinkle in her eye and smile. So that's how that's doing. And also good to hear that W6OM may be coming back. I missed the guy. Alrighty. George, back to you and the net, W6YEC.
Well, Tom, I'm not sure. I think he threw it back. It's a little up and down on the signal. We've got Southern Moss in there. Steve, did he throw it back to me? Did you catch that?
Yeah, he was on KFS. He turned it back to you.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Tom. I wish I would have been able to catch all of that. And it sounds like you're doing better. You said October you were in the hospital. I didn't catch all the information there. So maybe we'll catch up for this time. And so glad to hear you on there tonight. Let me turn it over to Andy, see how he's doing up there in the hills. K6JCA, take it away, Andy. W6YEC.
Thank you, George. W6YEC. This is Kilowatt Delta 6 Tango Kilo X-ray. Andy at Curry Mountain, California, about 80 miles southwest of Fresno. And well, thanks for the information, Kevin, on Ken and also on Ron. So yeah, it's I got started here in '93, and Ken was one of the guys that was on all the time. So it was always a pleasure to hear him. And I think that I guess what I could say is that these things can be reminders that every day is a gift. So treat them accordingly. At least for me, that's what I take away from it. And Tom, good to hear you. Sorry to hear that you were in the hospital. Glad you're doing better. And look forward to hearing you more on the air. That'd be great. Let's see, the transmitter here tonight is the Collins KW1, and the receiver is a 75A4, the antenna is a resonant fan dipole, and everything's going good here. I've been spending a lot of time away from home now that I've got a little grandson, and spent a lot more time there at my daughter's place, and also was out on a backpacking trip with my other daughter a couple of weeks ago, so it's been a really good family time, even though we're all grown up now. So anyways, no swap, no roundtable. It's nice to be part of the net. My AMI number is 1845. Thanks to John for doing that. I should have got one a long time ago, but I guess I put it off or whatever, but I'm sure glad to have one now. It's nice to be part of this group. So 73 is from Curry Mountain. We'll be listening out. Ron, thank you for taking the release. George, thank you for running the net. It's a great job, and always great to hear everyone here. W6YEC, this is KD6KX.
Okay, KW1 sounding good from Curry Mountain. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it. Let's get John in here. WA6JUS. John, give us your thoughts and your memories. Take it away, my friend.
Thank you, George. Oh, wow, yeah, it's forgetful. But I still remember the K6JCA. I did go up there. Why you see it, of course.
And I've got another.
Yeah, that was the fighting spirit. That's his military consciousness up in place. He could do everything. Had a couple hot rods, I remember. I remember when I first heard him on, it was the transmitter was Hercules, the Kodak 400. I remember it had a jump to the outside, full of a hot air outside. It was very creative, coming up with the best way to do things. I had back-to-back events, Friday going into Saturday and Sunday, and so I've been trying to these people. I found the barbecue pit. I think it's the only one. We used to go to those a lot. One in my group on college, so that was a nice remnant to be there. Sometime maybe one of you guys will show up at the Alpine region there on Alpine Boulevard up near where you cut the road to the A House. And I completely forgetful today. Anyway, doing okay with the big Mamu with such. The number is 1258. That's because W6YEC
Okay, John, thank you very much. Speaking of George, let's pick up W8DG. Go ahead, Joe. Nice to hear you in there tonight.
Thanks so much, George. W6YEC and Groove. Here is W8 Victor Golf out here in Oro Valley, about 10 miles north of the old Pueblo, Tucson, Arizona. Everybody sounded good here tonight. I didn't have to bring KFS up. I've just taken the old R390 and tuned it up a little bit and dropped it down to the 4KC, and everybody sounds good on the upper half of their signal, and it's not all the other stuff's not bothering me. So good conditions. We'll take it. Anyways, I'm running the usual stuff, George. Homebrew pair of 813s modulated by another pair, triode connected. Listening on the old R390, not an A, antennas 160 droopy dipole up about 40 feet in the center, fed with ladder line down here to a homebrew link tuner. And let's see, 1L, AMI 1814. Nothing to swap or trade, and I'm not going to hang around for the round table. May listen for a little bit, but I'm going to shut the filaments off and probably go to bed with the chickens, George. Hi. So sorry to hear about Kenny. Doggone it. Kenny's going to be missed. I miss him now. Had a lot of contacts with him over the years. He used to get in and chat with our morning group down here in Arizona on 3725. I started a card file when I lived, an AM card file, when I lived on the East Coast back in the late 90s. I got the idea from Beulah Bill, if you ever remember him. And what I do is when I work somebody on AM, I create an index card, and I put little notes on there, and I indicate, the dates and frequencies I worked them on. Kenny, I had the original card file. I started over on that when I moved to Fullerton in 2012, but Kenny's in there both times. Let's see, I worked Kenny the first time when I lived up in San Pedro. I was still in the service at Fort MacArthur. I worked him on January January the 10th, 2000 on 3880, and I was probably running a rice box that says 50 watts AM. But I ended up with a Ranger a year or two later up there, and worked him a bunch of times on that. I do remember talking to him. And then he's in the new card file from Fullerton starting November of 2012. And made a few notes here. Mostly worked him on his homebrew 813, but also on the ART13. And let's see, he was definitely he was an Army vet. Kevin, you're correct. Served his country in the U.S. Army. I think he was back in the 50s, as I recall. Let's see, born in Indiana, originally from Gary and Hammond. And he came to California at age 5 in 1946. I made a note of that. But we had some great discussions. We somehow or other, George, we ended up always talking about tomato plants. I have a nice crop of tomatoes there in Fullerton, and when I moved down here into the real desert, things weren't as good. So he would share some of his ideas on growing tomatoes, and then we'd compare notes. I think his were always better than mine. Anyways, we're gonna miss him. He was a great guy, and we'll miss not hearing him in here. Anyways, other than that, I don't have anything else. Good hearing everybody. Thanks, George, for running the net this evening, and Ron, thanks so much for picking me up there on the early. So back it comes, George, up there to Lemon Grove, W6YEC, W8 Victor Golf.
Well, George, thanks for sharing those things with us. That was neat. Card file, attributable bill. That brings back memories on 20 meters. And he and the other guy that would get on there, man alive. 286, I think it was, 14286. And that was wonderful. Get in there in the afternoon, chat with those guys. All righty, very good. Well, Chris, it's your turn. The young guy in the group here, K6JCA. Take it away, Chris. W6YEC. The old Pro's radio sounds good. I didn't know his website. The website was still on, and he still had his QRZ page. Well, he had no family, so there wasn't anybody to notify the SCC, I guess, or QRZ. So, hey, that's pretty cool. I have to go over there and look at the website, or look at his QRZ page. All right, thanks for that, Steve. Chris, not to Steve. K6JCA. Congratulations on getting your antenna back up. I can just kind of picture it. Sounds like you did okay. I was concerned for you there on that steep room. K6JCA, take it away. W6YEC.
All right, George. Yeah, it just took a long time. You have to be careful not to fall off. Just go slow. And, about 5 hours to string it all up. It's good. Hopefully for another few years. All right, KF6SYD, Stephen Long Beach, AMI 1708, PCA transmitter. All right, a lot of things tonight. First of all, Tom, W6TJK. I was listening on KFS. I heard everything you said, Tom. And I guess Georgia had a little trouble pulling him out at times. That's talking about in the hospital in October with congestive heart problems, and he sounds like he's going to be fine. and you know as fine as anyone has had some heart problems. You got the concerns from now on, but good to hear you, Tom, and yeah, put up that tower and piece that antenna together. And looking forward to hearing all about what you do to get all that running. Glad Denise is doing good, and sure is good to hear from you. And let's see, Vaughn, K6JCA. Well, you didn't let the cat out of the bag, but now I know there's a cat. But it sounds like it's a good cat, so we'll wait to hear from Bob, WA9JIB, to find out what the cat is that you didn't let out of the bag. So that'll be something we'll look forward to. Kevin, thank you for the detective work and the effort and time you put in to let all of us know what happened to Ken, because we just didn't know. He was just gone. We didn't know. So thanks, Kevin, for doing that. And Ken, a very good man, very straight shooter, and you know, you could get on his backside, and I did that. I was new and smart, and I'm pretty sure he didn't like if someone had a broadcast transmitter. He didn't think we should do that, and here I was with the broadcast transmitter, and George, W8 Victor Golf, that's how I did it, because it was COVID, and we grew a garden, and I talked to Ken about tomato plants, and all of a sudden, all was forgiven, and I had a really good talk with Ken, and after that, and I was so relieved, and it was a sense of satisfaction to find a way, because I kind of heard about tomato plants before, to get on his good side, and I wanted to do that so badly, and I'm so glad that happened before Ken was gone. So that's other than always enjoying listening to Ken talk about guns and cars, always enjoyed that too. So we'll remember Ken and miss him. I wish he was still here with us. And thanks again, Ken, for letting us know. And then Steve, I don't know, you know, Steve N6 NBV, and I can't remember his caller, it's Mississippi Steve. I can't, yeah, everybody knows it but me. You're all saying them right now. But they were on the tip of my tongue, but they used to talk to Ken a lot. I wonder if those two guys know. They should, somebody ought to tell them if somebody talks to Steve or Steve, you kind of let them know what happened to Ken. Maybe they would appreciate that. What else is there? Kevin, thanks for telling us about talking to Ron, W6ON. I had a feeling he was still doing okay. And the man of tall tales. And no one could tell a tall tale like Ron. And he's still doing it. So that's very good. Looking forward to seeing him or hearing from him sometime. That would be really neat. What other notes do I have? I don't think I have any more. I don't think I'll stick around for the round table, but I sure will listen through the end of the net. So George, W6, oh yeah, question, George, you said, and maybe they said, no, they didn't say no. They may have told you they'll let you know sometime, but I wonder what happened with the driver's license, George. W6 White EC, back over to you, KF6SYD.
Okay, Steve, real good, yeah. Interesting. And tomatoes, I didn't know that. That was new to me. Tomatoes was how he got on the good side of Ken. Yeah. That's funny. Boy, we had some good, good memorial service here tonight. This kind of thing that you do at a good memorial service. Celebration of life. And so it was good for everybody to do that, to share your thoughts tonight. And we have a few more here, so we're not quite done. And I wasn't keeping track of who wanted to stay around, so we're going to just release it to whoever wants to take it at the end here. Ken and Alpine, it's your turn. KW1NG, W6YEC.
All right, George, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We're running the 7610 tonight on the AM at about 60% power on the 3001, which is running about 110 watts carrier at the moment and peaking up around 450, something like that. So into the inverted L, we have a 95-foot inverted L up around 32, 33 feet, something like that. And using the SM30 mic with the 7610. So that's the setup here tonight. Larry, sure glad to hear that amp on the air. That's pretty cool. So that amp belonged to my boss, Joseph Gottlieb. His father was Alvin Gottlieb. The kid was W9YLD, and he ran that station in Chicago and then took it down to the Keys in Florida when he retired. But if anybody's about out to Las Vegas, the Pinball Museum, they can see a lot of his games there. He's got the Gottlieb pinball machines, and the Las Vegas Museum and the museum back in New Jersey also, I forget the name of it, but they have a number of those as well. My boss Joseph, he has a few of the machines at his home. Anyway, that amp is concerned energizes because that was actually modified, hand-modified. I think you found that there were some differences from the original schematic. It was hand-modified I think it was for Al. So to put his particular station there, I believe he ran a column, the old F-twins. I don't know if he used those with that amp or something else, but I can find out from Joseph. There's a lot of backstory to that amp. Anyway, I'll talk to you a little bit more about that. Sorry to hear about Ken, K6CJA. Yeah, he's listed as SK or the FCC license page. So somebody should probably take care of that. But he sounded like a good guy. One of those, how you say, accounts but fair sorts of individuals. If you're on his good side, there's nothing he won't do to you. And if you weren't on his good side, watch out. But it didn't take much to get on his good side. It sounds like he did in the words. Anyway, that's about it for me tonight. I do have something else. I wrote this down when people were talking about maybe getting together for a picnic. There is a picnic/barbecue scheduled for Matthews and Collins guys in Houston at the residence of Dennis and Lisa, K6BQ and KF7QNG, I believe. And that's in April on the 27th on Saturday. Abedino Curry, and so Dennis was interested in RSVPs for that. Just contact us. Alex and I are going to take the motorhome and go up there. And there's 5 acres of dry camping place to go, so we're going to do that at the end of the month. It's going to sound quite fun. No on the swap tonight, no on the round table. I'm going to go visit with my wife, and that's about it for me tonight. And Larry, once again, thank you. That's very cool. All right, pass it back to George. Take it away, KW1.
Okay, thanks, Ken, W6YEC. By the way, Steve, I didn't answer your question. I'll do that in a moment. But you were thinking of Mississippi, Steve, as K5YRJ. And I'll give him a call. I've got his number here. And pass that on. He can let the other Steve know. I ran across NBD on 40 meters. We had a nice contact on 40 meter sideband, I think it was. Anyway, so that's a good idea. Yeah, Ken used to get on early in the morning with those guys, so they've probably been wondering too. So let's see, I passed that along. Thanks for sharing the barbecue there, Ken. Wrote that down. I have to see what we can do about that. It'd be kind of nice to go up there and see Dennis and local freight out there in the desert. And I think just before you get to where the 14 turnoff is, to head up towards Bishop, on 395, something like that. So we'll be following that along and see how we're doing. Oh, to answer your question, Steve, yeah, I talked to the DMV today. They made an appointment for me to go take a driving test. So it was a good conversation. I kind of wondered if that's how it was going to end up. Yep, I got to go take a driving test and prove what the doctor said to be true. So that's scheduled for the end of February. My son Derek's going to go with me, and I'll take my SUV and see what happens. So the end of February, hopefully the paperwork will get in to release my license back to me. Thanks for asking. Okay, it's been wonderful here tonight. We're almost done. Jay, up to Ken's neck of the woods, NY6L, take it away. And then turn it over to Skip, why don't you? K6LGL, and we'll close the net. Go ahead, Jay, W6YEC.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much, George. And Kevin, very heartfelt. Thank you so very much for doing the detective work. And gosh, where do I begin? As I met Ken before even AMI, before I got on AM, Ken used to be good friends with Jerry Pitcher, W6OOE. And I remember meeting Ken. He had a cowboy hat on, kind of skinny guy, and got to talking about, things on 2 meters and other stuff, because that's the way I was, back, gosh, that must have been 20 years ago or more, thereabouts. And, when I got on AM, I heard Ken from I was in West LA. And we had a booming signal from the area here, and I told Ken, hey, I'm going to be retiring and moving up here. So, to make a long story short, we used to kind of kid each other. I told him, I'm on the. He used to say that he's on the east side of the railroad tracks. Well, I'm on the west side of the railroad tracks off of Main Street. And likewise, he was the same there. And I remember coming up here, I invited him over to the house and showed him around. And, after I got everything kind of hooked up and attached and everything, all the ham gear. And went to his house twice. And he gave me a couple of 35 millimeter picture cameras. Very nice. And he needed some firewood, so I told him to come on down and gave him some firewood. And the last time he was over at the house is we had Larry W6WH come down from Occidental. I gave Ken a call. Hey, Ken, come over to the house. I got Larry down here from Occidental, so I came over and had like a three-way eyeball kisser conversation, and Ken's gonna be missed, and I've only been to his house twice, and I knew something was up when he was selling off his possessions and things, and gave me some cameras and all that, and then that was it. So the chapter in this in my book will be now closed, and if anybody else asks, I will say, okay, this is what was found. So, Kevin, thank you so much. God bless you, and thank you for your hard and dedicated work. And only thing I got is pictures I took last weekend of Ken's place the way it was. So there you go. All right. over to Skip, K6LGL. Thing goes to Skip NY6LJ here in Hesperia. Okay, thank you very much, Steve. K6L.
Maybe the drone's around it here in the here. I get on the radio.
K6LGL. Skip in Santa Monica. Yeah, when I think of Ken, I think of some of his brashness that I associated with another silent K that I talked quite often to him. That's Ashtabula Bill, W-H-B-Y-Z in Ashtabula, Ohio. Used to talk to him fairly regularly, both mobile and phone-based, and also V4BX, his friend. So Ken had some of the brashness. It's one of the interesting characteristics. He called his rig that he built with the 400 and I think 813 modulators. He called it Hercules after the famous plane that he worked on when he was during part of his aerospace career. And at that time, first I met him, he was running for a receiver. He was running the Cumberland Super Pro 400, which was too many people use it. And I think he either had a D104 and he also had some other microphones there. And yes, he was also enthusiastic, let's say, firearms person. He used to do his own reloading. He used to regularly go out there and shut out and so on. And he built a pretty big sounding hi-fi system, big type. So there's a number of accomplishments. The only thing that I remember, he was a fairly heavy smoker there, and that I'm afraid does not provide passive longevity. But I remember Ken, he also sold me a couple of 1625s, I remember. Right this way around the turn of the millennium. That's Ken. He was a unique hammer, one of those memorable individuals that's fun to talk to. He was cantankerous, but then, hey, it's a human characteristic, and we all have aspects of something or other. So this is 73 to everybody, and if you want to have an official moment of silence, this would be a good time to do it, George. In Ken's memory, I'll try to remind Wednesday on the early ALI, heard. And there's also a couple other people that associated that with Dean from Phoenix, Arizona, used to do regular check-in into the early nits. And of course, W7MD. He's still around, and I was thinking there's one other station that is, he's in the rest home now, he's a former net control. He used to live in the foothills of the Sierras. Well, Ken was a former NCS of the Wednesday MINET also, regularly along with W6DCN. And then Brian got his NI6T call. Brian was also active there through 004, through 005, and so on. Okay, enough. 72s, everybody. And thank you for interest in that, and thanks for the memories of another individual that we have.
Okay, Skip, and I'm trying to remember the call of the individual you were mentioning, I think. It was a K6 call, and he was ended up in a rest home. You know what I'm talking about? John.
Doggone it, but I can't remember his call now. I probably could dig through the files of my copies of the notes. Might be able to find it, over.
Yeah, I probably have it listed here in one of my binders. Anyway, I remember John, he used to be net control, always did a great job. All right, thanks, Skip, for sharing there. And we're going to draw this particular net to a conclusion here tonight. Boy, it went a little longer than I thought it would. But I'm glad for all of the comments. So we'll just take a moment here and kind of assimilate all these thoughts and bid 73s there to Ken as a silent key as he's signed off now. And so this was a good night to remember. A lot of details. Very good. I was blessed listening. I just want to say that. Okay. So let's just take a moment of silence, and then we'll sign off here.
I got you. Well, you know, you have the right. You know, your money's the same as anybody else, and you have the right.
All right, thanks everybody for your participation tonight. Blessings from that grace to one and all. W6YEC will be in the clear. If there's any people that want to communicate, go ahead.